invitation.
Yeah. So I'm happy to be here. So I'm actually taking this opportunity for me not to actually show a new product or a new idea about gamification in tourism. I'm more interested in this talk about what the end user wants, because sometimes we have really nice ideas, really nice products, and we go to the market, we go to the street, and then nobody uses it. So the idea of this talk is more to take a step back and look at what users or like visitors want in tourism, or like when you are visiting a city. So the idea is that I'm presenting research that was done by one of my students. So I'm a professor in computer science in HSSO Valley, so it's here, and I have the chance to have, in the next building on mine, I have the Tourism Institute, the Research Institute for Tourism. So sometimes I'm actually supervising students from there, and they supervise students for us. So the idea is that we can have this kind of dialogue with like people like me having a lot of idea about gamification, VR, AR, and I can ask my colleague in tourism to see if there is a need or if they see something else. So the idea is that what I'm showing now, it was a bachelor thesis from one of the students. So it's less technical, but more like the business side, more like what do we need as a city, as a tourist provider, what are the need for us for using the gamification. So the problem of the thesis was this: so as a medium-sized city, how can we engage our visitor to visit our city? So we took like kind of like a fake example like for Morges. So we decided to say, okay, so what Morges would need to have something that would attract more visitors to Morges, because Morges is not as big as Lausanne, less people know Morges, so it's more about like helping like this middle-sized city to make their kind of visibility into this scene. So the idea is that the student actually chose to use the augmented map. So the idea is that everybody has a map when he's actually traveling. So how can I actually augment this map so it's actually useful for the people? So the rationale is that, so as I said, everyone has a map, everyone uses the map when he's going to visit the city, and gamification can actually help visitors to go to see like what are the landscape or like the sightseeing of Morges in this example. So what we did is that we asked the visitor in Morges. So the student actually did two things. First thing is that he actually created a survey online so people could actually answer his question. So he had 139 participants for his online survey, and then he went to the Morges tourist office and asked questions about what they would need and what they think would be like important for them to do in this topic. So first, the population, that's what he asked. So he was from 19 years old to more than 60. So we can see that you have more like younger people. So just to actually show you like what the demographic of the survey. So the second one is smartphone usage. So who is using a smartphone while visiting? So it was quite clear. I mean, everybody should have known that, but now it's clear. So 95% of people uses his smartphone while visiting a city. Then, are you actually using your smartphone for navigation during your visits? So there are less people doing it. Why? Because they are roaming and they don't have much data for that. So they say that using a map would be helpful because you don't need to actually go online and get like on the plan that they have if they come from outside Switzerland. So in this aspect, is 80% says yes and 20% says no. Then we ask them if they go to the tourist office when they go to visit a city, and only 3% go always in the tourist office. So we see that it's not like the main kind of information channel for them to get access to what the city has to offer. Around 50% go sometimes, but not always, and almost 30% they never go to the tourist office. So the idea is that you cannot access all our visitors based on the tourist office. So we should change the way of accessing our tourists. So if they don't go to the tourist office, what are their preferred information source? So most of them they like both, like having like a guide and having like software. So the idea is that they go on internet and they use app for 25% of the cases, and 9% only use guide that they go to in the library or to the bookshop to get one. And actually most of them, like 67%, actually use both of them. So they use a bit of guide, they use a bit of software, which means that having like this idea of a map which is augmented with augmented reality makes sense for them, because the map is there, so it's always something that is there. It doesn't need the battery to actually to be used. So it's kind of like a fair kind of basis. Then we asked them if they would like to have audio explanation during the stay or during like the visit. And surprisingly, 72% said no. So I'm not sure if they were kind of they didn't like audio guide in the museum, but maybe we have not more explanation on that. But this is something that was based on this study. Then I asked about the price. So we asked about the price. How much would you pay for using like a nice app that allow you to visit more? So in this case, 33%, like 1/3, said that they wouldn't pay anything, so they would like to have it for free. So this is kind of like what I was expecting, like it would be more. But then 37% said that they would be like keen to actually pay like 1 to 5 francs, which is nice. I mean, you can actually start making money out of that. And then 6 to 10 francs was 23%, and more than 10 francs was like 25%. So we see that between 3 and 1 to 2 francs, people are kind of willing to pay for that. So that was kind of what we asked in the street in Morges. So then we went to the tourist office of Morges, and we asked them, so if we actually provide you one of these augmented map where we can actually have the map, and then you have the smartphone, and you can actually see landscape, you can actually do some gamification with smartphone, how much would you pay for that? And they say, our budget every year is like 10,000 francs. So it's actually a number that's actually coming from different kind of tourist office. So 10,000 francs for them is kind of normal, is that they can put it every year, 10,000 francs on something that they would like to use. So this is as well something nice. And the thing is that what they said as well is that if the application is used somewhere else, I don't want it. I mean, for me, I want to have the exclusivity of the app, because I want me to be visible, and I want me to have the innovative aspects of this app for myself only. So, and they want something easy to maintain, because we know that when the app is created, if you don't put new content every 6 months or so, it will be actually die, because you do like once as an escape room and then you go somewhere else. So they want to have like kind of like a back office, so they could actually modify what they want to show, and maybe for Christmas do something for Christmas, for like for the summer do something for summer. So people can actually come back to Morges and experience something else each time. So this is what I wanted to talk about from this study, and I'm taking the advantage of being in front of you now to let you know about this new initiative that HSSO Valley, like us, like Institute of Tourism and Information System, and Virtual Switzerland, which is the Inno-Swiss kind of group for AR and VR for Switzerland. So Virtual Switzerland is actually funded by the states, and is actually funded to actually push the AR and VR in the society, and they ask us to lead this group about AR and VR in tourism. So Swisscom is already one of our partners for that. So it's quite new. We got the acceptance like last week, and we are looking for startup, tourist promotion office, and research institutes to work on this aspect. So my take-home message: it's always nice to know what your customer wants, and it's always nice to know how much they would pay for it, so you can actually price it better. And second, join our group. So the idea is to federate actors in the field, enhance visibility for AR and VR in tourism, educate customers because we need to educate them, and apply for regional, national, or international fundings. So this is what I wanted to tell you today. Thanks.
Thank you. I know you have a question. Maybe someone from the audience, or you start.
Thank you. Thank you for this very interesting study. I have two small questions. The first is, why to use physical maps and not electronic maps? Because you said 76% how to use their smartphone, and we have maps on the smartphones. So
yeah.
Why not to have something,
so the
gamification on the maps, on the smartphone?
Yeah, so the idea was more like having like an art kind of surface, so it doesn't go out of battery, it doesn't go out of network, and if they are lost and the battery is dying, so they still have something that they can actually use. This was the.
And the second thing is, this was the study, so now more or less we know what they want. Our customers, are there an idea of building now something on that?
No, actually, it was not the purpose of the study. It was more like, as I said before, like to know what was the idea and what they want. But the idea was only theoretical, so we didn't have like any. I mean, the idea is that Mosh at the end was quite interested, and then I think if you want to go and ask them now, it would be easy.
I mean, this office. Is it interesting in one prototype? Because we can. It's not so complicated. We can do it with the.
Should we continue the discussion when we have the panel?
Okay.
Sounds good. Yes.
Maybe we have a question in the audience. Another idea? I just wanted to ask, socially, do you think, and how would you also sell that as an argument that it's reinforced social links, or not? Or
yeah. But actually, in my next talk, I have two talks in this session. And in my next talk, I'm showing like how to actually have a group of students like going and solving challenges in a museum. So the idea is that you can always having like only one tablet with multiple participants. So the idea is that we have seen that if I have one tablet, I have multiple participants, they will actually discuss, they will actually try to actually fix the challenge or try to actually go. And the idea is the tablet or like the augmented reality is actually fostering like this kind of communication.
Okay, so I guess I'll see you in a minute.